Hey Sugar, welcome to the Calm and Confident CEO with yours truly, Janel Luxe Stylist. Now, listen, this is my debut episode of the podcast. And I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I wanted to get centered and get focused so that I could show up for you in the best way possible. So, this podcast is for you if you are a beauty professional, right? If you're a hairstylist, a nail tech, an esthetician, a lash tech, whatever you do in the beauty industry, is for you. I want to be able to help you build a sustainable business without burning out. I want you to flourish in this industry and not make the same mistakes that I did. I want to be able to give you actionable tips. I want to be able to give you strategy and share with you some of the things that I've learned along my journey to help propel you to where it is that you need to go without wearing yourself out in the process. So, this first episode is going to be a little different than what you may be accustomed to from me as far as my content goes. So if you see me on some of those other apps like TikTok, Instagram, even on Facebook or Threads, my shorter content is a little different. I kind of get in, get out, hit straight to the punch and go on about my business, right? But I'm gonna kind of go back and share some of my journey over this past year to kind of shed some light on things and prayerfully give you some insight as to how you can proceed forward when you endure certain trials within your business as well. Ultimately, my biggest thing is I want you to be able to step into your role as a CEO. I want all of us in this industry ultimately to understand that we're not just nail techs. We're not just hairstylists. We're not just lash techs or just estheticians or just massage, whatever it is. You're not just that. You are a business owner. You are a CEO. You are an entrepreneur. And by you building this business essentially from the ground up, you have positioned yourself to be able to build something really amazing. But there's certain building blocks that we need to have in place along the way to ensure that we flourish, to ensure that we can be here for the long haul. And I can honestly say, after 20 years of being in this industry, I've learned a few things. And I've been in it for really about 12 years full time. And in that 12 years full time, like 100% all in, baby, listen, it has not been a walk in the park. But I can honestly say it's been worth it every step of the way. While we get settled, I want you to go ahead and, grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab whatever you're going to get a box of Kleenex if you need to. Because we may shed a couple tears today, because today is going to be like literally a real talk episode. And I'm going to forewarn you because it might be a little lengthy. We may have to break this one up into multiple parts because I want it to be where it's not overwhelming for you and it's consumable and we can get what we need to get so that you know you understand the lesson and the meat in all of what I'm sharing with you. So let's get it in. So let me start off by saying um I had to take a big break. And when I say a big break, baby, I mean a big break. I'm sure if you follow me on any other social media platform, you have seen me sprinkle in a video here and there. You've seen me post an update here and there. You may have even seen me send out an email saying, "Hey, y'all, I'm back." And then I'm gone for another month, 2 months, sometimes even longer. The reason for that is the short version is that I went through a year of life kicking my entire behind. That's what it felt like anyway. It felt like it felt like somebody grabbed me by my weave and dragged me through the street. That's what that thing felt like because I went through a lot. 2024, everybody came into 2024 like, oh, we're going to be up this year and it's going to be the bomb. Ooh, baby, listen, straight 15 days in, totaled my car. 30 days after that, lost my apartment. Another 30 days after that, had to move in with my grandmother. Little by little, it just started to it life did what felt like a 360 and started to almost crumble around me. That's what it felt like. And I know sometimes we go through these trials and tribulations and it feels like life is happening to us. One of my business coaches reminded me recently that it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. 2024 had to happen because I had to see me. I had to see where I fell short. I had to see where I dropped the ball. I had to even see where my indecision cost me. So it had to happen. I grieved it. I went through therapy. I'm still, mental health is a big deal. I don't care if you feel like your issues are, resolved or what have you. Listen, if you start therapy, continue it. I don't care if you go once a month just to deal with your issues, but like me starting that journey and dealing with a therapist, once a week, then once every 2 weeks, then once every three, and kind of spacing out my visits from there. It helped me to really understand where I was, what I was experiencing, and the fact that even in those tribulations, I still had accomplished a whole lot. In the midst of all of that, uh, I went through a very trying separation. It was the beginning of the end of my marriage with my husband, and we're still going through some things. We're still, we're not quite out of the situation as of yet, but I am in the process of going through a divorce. Um, I believe that both of us did everything that we could do to try to make things work while we were in it, that we had the capacity to do during that time. And so we both learned a lot. Um, I can speak for myself and say there were some times that because of the impact that the relationship had on me emotionally, um, I felt like there were some things that I could not show up for in other aspects of my business, in coaching, and in things like that. So it was difficult for me to show up for you in the way that I really wanted to because I wanted to be my full, authentic self. And I didn't feel like I could share that aspect of who I was with my audience without feeling broken, without breaking down, without um, going through the motions and doing so ongoing. I wanted to heal those broken parts of me first before I exposed that aspect of who I am to the world. So, for those of you who have stuck in there with me and, stayed in for the long haul, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being patient with me. I appreciate you um, staying tapped in, even in the midst of me and, my life lifing. I appreciate you for extending grace to me because it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but it was worth it. And I'm grateful that, I'm in a place now where I can share and not do so from a place of bitterness, but from a place of, hey, if you're going through trials, if you're going through um, loss, separation, hardship, whatever it is, there are ways that you can still navigate around it and persevere. Um, I know because I did it. And I'm not speaking from a place of just being hopeful or just trying to encourage you, but like even in my place of pain, even in my place of hardship, I was still able to grow in all of it because I learned from this process. I learned um, what I value. I learned what I'm willing to accept and what I'm not. And that's both in my intimate relationships and even in business partnerships. I have learned um, what abuse looks like, even if that person doesn't feel like that's what they're doing. I've learned what it feels like and looks like on the receiving end of it. I've learned even what it looks like to lose people because of, those other connections, because of what others may think of you. I have learned that it is okay to not care what other people think of you. This is probably the first time in my life at 38 years old. This is probably the first time in my life where I can honestly say I don't care what other people think of me, be it good, bad, or indifferent. And not from the vantage point of, I don't want to protect my character. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, people who think negatively of you, they're going to think that because that's what they choose to think. And I have people who have villainized me as a result of the ending of my relationship with my ex because of whatever version of the story is that he has shared. Then I have people who have made their own assumptions because of maybe what they saw or didn't see. And then I have people who are neutral or who've heard both sides and they see between the lines and they know what happened and what didn't. And, it literally, you're going to think what you're going to think. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And for the people who are willing to reason with me and hear me out and understand me, I'm more than willing to bridge the gap between, things that may have been said and what my reality is in the situation and move on from it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. It was what it was. And now we both get to move on from it. It was unfortunate. We both lost a lot in the process of our relationship, but I can't speak for him, but I can speak for me and say that I learned so much. And I'm grateful for those lessons that I learned throughout that. So that's that. So I can honestly say that's primarily what hindered me showing up because the negative in my relationship impacted all of my businesses because it impacted me showing up because of depression, anxiety. It impacted me showing up because I felt like I was an imposter. I had when I say real bad, baby, I had real bad imposter syndrome. I felt like a fraud because I felt like, how can I tell you that you can be all these great things in business and I'm not doing the thing. I felt like, how can I preach to you to do X, Y, and Z and I don't produce those same results? Even though I've done it before, even though I have the capability of doing it, all of that, I still somehow in my mind felt incapable. I felt unworthy. And I'm sure many of us have been at a place in our lives where we have felt some degree of unworthiness. I'm going to pause right here for a second and remind you that you are worthy. You are worthy. You are capable. You are more than enough. I have to remind myself of it often because I overthink. I get in my head about things. I stress just like anybody else, right? But I want you to know like you're worthy, you are capable, and you are more than enough. You can be whatever it is that you set out to be. And I'm literally living proof of that. I was on a call with my coach, one of my coaches, this past Sunday, and he said something that stood out to me. And it sticks with me on a day-to-day basis. I can't unhear it, so to speak. Your life right now is the way it is because it is what you have willed into existence. It is what you have created to be. And in many ways, it is the life that you've created, good, bad, or indifferent. Now, he didn't say it in those exact words, but what I will say is this: we create the life that we have every day. The things that we do or don't do create our life journey. Yes, there are outside things that are not within our control. We know that. But the things that you do control, your decision or indecision dictates your future. And you have to determine what you're going to do or not do and how that impacts your future and your next steps. You have what you say and what you do. I often say you have what you say, and I leave it there because I understand that, you know, the power of what we speak out of our mouths it's imperative, it's pivotal in our journey. But also understand that what you do, your disciplines, your ability to put things into action, that thing, listen, it will determine who you become. Case in point, April of last year, 2024, I finally made a decision that enough was enough. When it came to my health, enough is enough. February, um, when my ex and I lost our apartment, we lost the apartment mid-February. The beginning of March, the Lord led me to go on a fast. Didn't understand why, didn't know how long this fast was going to be. He never gave me a date. God never told me how long to fast for. I just heard the fact that it was time to go on a fast. Okay, God, what kind of fast? He told me to stop eating meat. And there were a few other things he had me to pull away from. Okay. I went pretty much vegetarian for the first probably 2 to 4 weeks. Then I reintroduced seafood, became pescatarian. Um, Periodically, the only thing I would eat would be like bacon, and it was like if it was on something already and I didn't know. Um, but that was pretty much it. I could still have, and it wasn't vegan; it was more so vegetarian. So eggs, milk, stuff like that was still fine. But at that point, when I realized how much better I felt, I realized I had started to lose some weight. Then it hit me how much weight I had actually gained. I know y'all saw me on social media, but most of the time you saw me like chest up, right? I had gotten up to almost 300 pounds. My lack of discipline and my indecision led to a significant amount of weight gain. I had done the keto diet before. I had lost a significant amount of weight, but my weight yo-yoed for a long time. A long time. Okay. I finally made it up in my mind and said, you know what? I cannot do this by myself. I made an appointment with a weight management doctor. And the funny thing is, I had this information for months. I had the information months prior, but never moved on it because of my indecision. I felt like, oh, I could do it on my own. I should be fine. And, I'll just make it work. I did not indeed make it work. I went, met with the doctor. She started me on my medication, and it worked. From then to now, I've lost like 70, 60, 70 pounds, and I feel amazing. In the midst of that, I felt led to start going to the gym. Started off at 2 days a week, then 3 days a week. Then I had the bright idea to do 75 soft. Baby, listen, that there. 75 hard is crazy. The 75 soft is difficult too. And it took me some time to really dig into it. And I missed some days and had to double back on a few days because life. But it was so worth it. And I developed an insane amount of discipline because of that particular journey.
Hey, Sugar. So, are you feeling like stuck in your business? Or maybe do you feel like you're trying to move the needle in the right direction, but you feel like you almost pedaling backward? Yeah, I kind of felt like that too. And I felt like it was time for a major shift. That's why I came up with the Major Shift Collective. The Major Shift Mindset Challenge is something I started a couple years ago. And recently I revamped it because I understand that we need to shift all the time. We need a shift that's ongoing, something that we can engage in on a month-to-month basis, on a weekly basis even, to help us continue to propel the needle in the right direction and realign our energy, mind, body, and spirit. So listen, the Major Shift Collective includes weekly calls, daily actionable steps, and a ton of other things, along with community to help you A, be accountable, and B, shift your mindset to where you need to be so that you can show up not just for your business, but for yourself. So head on down to the show note. Make sure you sign up for the collective. Listen, you can stay a month, you can stay 3 months, you can stay 6, but I want you to get what you need so that you can get where you need to be
And shift your mindset.
in the right direction. I see you on the inside of the collective.
And I'm so grateful for it because the level of stick to itiveness that I developed because of it is something that I can forever hold on to. I now go to the gym unless I'm out of town or something like that. I now go to the gym 4 to 5 days a week. And even if I'm out of town, baby, them resistance bands are in my bag. The workout clothes are in the bag. They're going with me. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to do something to move my body. Why? Because it's important to me to get in what I need to and still take care of myself. So now I developed that discipline. Now I can move on to the next thing and start to stack my habits and get better. So I said all that to say I had to work on myself. And what that meant was that I had to take a step back. I sprinkled in a video here and there because I thought I was strong enough to handle being present. In the moment I would step forward, adversity would hit, and I would go right back like a turtle into a shell. And I had to realize this time around that I'm going to have to do it, adversity or not. I'm going to have to do it come hell or high water because it's not about me, it's about you. It's about every young woman, every young man that I serve in this community, every person who's going to watch this video, every person who's going to hear this podcast, every person who's going to subscribe to any of my it's not about me, it's about you. And because it's about you, I have to show up for you. I have to be present for you. God placed something on the inside of me that it's my responsibility to share it with the world. And when I don't share it, I'm functioning from a place of disobedience. I'm functioning from a place of unbelief as far as me not believing what God told me I'm here and purpose to do. So I had to get myself together and realize that because it's not about me, I have to remove a certain level of selfishness and show up in the best way I can to give you what you need. So, and you'll see me periodically look at my notes because I want to make sure there's certain things that I touch on as I'm sharing with you because it's important to me for you to understand this side of things. A lot of people get on this here internet and be out here in these social media streets straight capping, telling stories, making up stuff, and making it seem like they just have it all together and they don't. Now, I'm not saying you get on social media and you tell all your business because I ain't told y'all half of what went on. Okay? But I am telling you that I faced a certain level of adversity, but I'm still here. There were days I wanted to give up. There were days that I wanted to quit, but I'm still here, still showing up. I'm still present. I may show up in a lesser capacity than I did before, but I'm still showing up, still present to be who it is that I need to be, not for me, but for the people that I serve. Hey, sugar. So listen, I know I cut it off at the good part. I know. I know. But listen, I value your time. And I know you got stuff to do. And I'm not trying to keep you here all day. So we're going to break this up. And I'll see you back for part 2. Now listen, make sure you like this video and subscribe. And then hit the little bell so you get all the notifications. If you're listening to this, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on so you do not miss the rest of this episode and for any other future episodes that we release. Because, I mean, you know you want all the tea on all the things concerning building your business as a beauty professional. So make sure you subscribe and I'll see you later for part 2.